All right, people, write something on the board. Let's spell it. First letter.
L O G.
What's that? What?
It's time. It's time to have real, honest, open, difficult, and inspiring conversations. It's time for Love and Life on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
Well, hey there, family. Hello and welcome. Welcome to Love and Life with yours truly, Carol Riddick, right here on WURD. Hello. Here we are, Tuesday, November 28th. OMG, OMG, OMG. Welcome to another day here in the Love and Life world. I hope you're having a great start to your week. I hope you are. I hope you are. Are you having a great start to your holiday season? I should ask that too. Are you? How's it going? How's it coming along with and for you, family? You know I want to know. I ask you all the time because I want to know. So happy birthday to you, especially if you are celebrating a birthday on today. Sending you extra love. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. You know, Nick and I are always happy to have you all join us. We're always happy to have you here with us. You know we are. We know you are. So if you are joining us by way of socials, let us know. Let us know by sharing a comment, sending us some love in that regard. Or, you know, you can always give us a call. You can do that by dialing 215-634-8065. You can even call us toll free. You can do that by dialing 1-866-361-0900. Any way you share the love, you know, we will take it. We love it. We love it. We love it. For those of our family members whose hearts are a little heavy today or whose lights may be shining just a little dimly, just know that I'm sending you so much extra love, so many extra hugs in this moment from your tribe and from your village, just to let you know that you are not alone. You hear me? You are not alone. So, family, I want to share a few things with you. Let's get that out of the way, right? That's right. The first of which is about the harvest. WURD Radio is sharing a harvest for the world. Now through December 31st, visit wordradio.com to find information on upcoming give back events in the Philadelphia area. If your organization is hosting free clothing giveaways, food drives, free workshops, community dinners, and more, please share the details using the form on our website. Visit wordradio.com/the harvest and look for the harvest banner. Family, it is harvest time, and we are sharing information on those giving back to the community. The harvest is brought to you by Comcast, Pico, Keystone First, and the United Way. Family, we are WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media. I do want to recognize and acknowledge some of our family members that are checking in. Nicole P shares that she's sending much love to everybody. Oh, thank you so much. She says she loves my hair. Thank you. I appreciate that. Doing something a little different today. Thank you for that. Alfred is joining us as well. Happy Tuesday after Thanksgiving. Thank you, Alfred. Thank you. And Nasir. Hey there, Nasir. He's sending peace and blessings to everyone. And we send them right back to you. You know we do. Always happy to have you join us. So family, let's get started. Malcolm said, wait a minute, don't forget about me. Malcolm said, I'm watching and listening from West Mount Airy. That's right, Malcolm. Hey, Malcolm. So, all right. Let's keep this train moving. The first guest that we have tonight, the first extraordinary individual that I want you to know is a friend of mine. I just love him to pieces. I know you're saying, what? Yes, I do. I do. I do. I just love him to pieces. He is a photographer, videographer, co-owner of a bicycle shop here in Philadelphia. I'm going to let him talk to you about all of that, but you should know that he's special to me. One of my beloveds. You know, I like to share my beloveds with y'all. You know I do. In any event, because the hour goes by so quickly, I'm just going to stop smiling and just bring him on into the room so we can have the conversation. Family, I invite you to the conversation with none other than Whitney Thomas. Well, hello there, good sir.
One of your beloveds. I like that.
That's right. That's right. One of my
I
beloveds.
love you. I love me some Calvary.
How you doing, Whit?
I'm good. I'm always good.
You are. No, you really are.
Smiling, life is good.
You are, but that's a good thing. That's a good
Yes,
thing.
it
Well,
is.
some people would say that about me. They would say that about me. But you know what? There's nothing wrong with
You
it.
smile all the time too.
I do. We like it like that,
Look,
though,
I
right?
got one of my best lines from you. God loves you, and so do I.
Because he does, and that's right.
Yeah.
God loves you, and so do I. Now I say I love you, but God loves you so much more. I get that from my mother. She had so many things that I put in my pocket. Oh my goodness.
Thank your mom for me.
Well, she hears you. She hears you.
There
She
you
hears you. Yes.
go.
And oh, wait a minute. Some more of our family members are checking in. Look at that. Look at who it is. Willie Williams. Hey, Willie. And he loves my hair too. Thank you, Willie. And thank you for that. He shares we had an awesome show yesterday. Thank you. And Summer Willow Fitch. Hi, Boop. Hey. And she said, let's talk, Whit. Let's talk. He is so awesome. So, family, for those of you who are unfamiliar and are unaware, I did share just a little that Whitney is a photographer and a videographer, and that he is also the co-owner of a bicycle shop here in Philly. But he's so much more than that. He's so much more than that. Whit, I don't know how many years ago we met, but he's been so instrumental in so many people's careers. So many, not just artists, or should I say, not just entertainers or musicians, but I mean chefs as well. I mean, you're just all over the place, and I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Life has been good. I've been blessed.
You know, you really have. Would you start by sharing with our family members from where you come? Tell us a little about you.
So photography is my second career. I started this in 2000. So it's been a little over 23 years now. Grew up in Philly, went to school in Ohio, got a degree in engineering, went to DC for my first job, was in DC and then Pittsburgh for a couple of years, and then back to DC for the first maybe 12 years of my working career. Technical stuff, industrial process control systems, energy management systems, hardware, software, system integration, all that kind of good stuff. And it was cool. It was a living. I made good money, but I was just working for the man. And I was like, I got to do something I actually like doing. And photography had been a hobby for about 2 years. I guess I picked it up in about 98. And I came back to Philly because my mom, who's older, my mom's actually 94 now, but she was 70, in 2000. And she had to have 2 hip replacements. So my brothers, who both live in Seattle, weren't around, and I was able to come back up and forth from 95. But I was like, let me just leave and go up there. And it was like a 6-month process for them. 1 surgery, 3-month rehab, another surgery, 3-month rehab. And I figured I would go back to DC and just get another job. But while I was here, I had the idea I should start this business because it's something I enjoy. And I started it in that 6-month period and never went back. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that's actually how it happened. Now I had the advantage of being a sales guy and having so many years doing corporate sales, and I knew how to talk to people and how to do business development. So the question was, did people like my photographic style? And once I saw that they liked my style, it was just a matter of, communicating the message enough to enough people And then it just took off from there.
I think it's your personality in your work. No, seriously, I think it's your personality is in your work. It shows in your work, and I think that is something to which we all gravitate. Quite honestly.
Yeah, and my style is real clean and pretty, and I've shot
Mhm,
mostly women. Probably women are 80% of what I've done. And
mhm,
I think the way because I love women and I'm a guy who actually cares and wants you to be your best and, is um, in line with who you are and, not fighting against who the woman is and what she represents. Then I try to convey that in a way that they like how they look. It's an odd thing, but, people are usually happy with whatever the image is that I come up of them, whatever
mhm.
it's a strange thing, but I guess it's the eye. It's also the understanding of who the person is, and that comes through. So yeah, it's definitely served me really well.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I mean about your personality because you establish a connection with your subjects or with your clients, if you
Right,
will.
right.
And and that shows. It really does show in your work. And I've, been watching you for years. I've been watching your work, looking at your work for years and watching you work. And so you're able to bring out of, I should say us because it's family. Listen, I am not the photogenic person. I am
Oh,
not.
great.
No, I am not. But Whitney has been able to capture photos of me that I mean, and I look so natural, and I look so like well, we're usually having a ball, we're singing, and he has music playing and everything. So it's a great experience. We're just having fun, just talking, doing what we
There you go.
do. But you see it in the photos, and I'm not thinking about actually being in the photos, which is has always been the issue for me. I'm always thinking about being in the photo. So, you've been able to get me to get out of that. And it appears that you're able to do that with so many others too. So,
Yeah, I guess I did a video recently that's on my Instagram, but I mentioned some of the publications that I've had images in from O at Home, Essence, Ebony, Vibe, Slam, Source, People. I'm leaving magazines out. Uptown,
mm,
Sister, a long list. And then I've obviously shot a lot of artists, some of whom some of
mm,
whom you perform with regularly, like Will Downey. I guess I've shot 4 or 5 of Will's albums.
mhm,
Shaw, a couple of his albums, and then a whole host of artists that I've done a lot of promotional images for. So
right.
yeah, and then like you mentioned, the cookbooks with my buddy G Garvin. I've been doing his food photography and his promotional photography for maybe 15 years now. So yeah,
And
that's
well, this all started from a hobby, from it being a hobby. But they say once you do something that you love, you never work a day in your life.
yeah, they say that, but it's work.
I was going to ask you, is it work? Is it work?
It's
But
work.
you said they lied. They
It's
lied.
work. Like I guess for the last 10 years, some people know that I've been traveling with Patti LaBelle and serving as her photographer and videographer, which is a blessing. She's like the best ever, the GOAT, as far as I'm concerned.
She is.
Um, when we're traveling, everybody's moving around. Hair's got their little bag, makeup's got their little bag. I got bags.
You got gear.
My bag's like 50 pounds. Yeah. So I'm carrying all that, running through airports, jumping in and out of sprinters and, on jets. And it's not easy. So it is
Oh,
work.
the life.
But it's
Oh,
work
the
that I
life.
enjoy, so I'm not going to be mad at it.
I
Right.
mean, oh, the life. Because you have to lift a 50-pound bag. Oh, the life.
Yeah,
Do you
when
hear
you run
this, family?
you be like, whoa. But no,
I'm out there lifting suitcases. I'm
I
not
feel you.
complaining.
I feel you.
Listen, because we don't want the alternative. That's why we don't want the alternative. Because we do enjoy it. That we do enjoy it, and you too. I mean, you have such a beautiful relationship, so and that makes it more
Yeah.
enjoyable too.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I
But
enjoy it.
so you said what now?
I have a ball. Yeah, I'm loving life. I always tell people I'm living the dream.
Talking about lifting 50 pounds, but y'all hear this,
Well,
family? You
yeah,
hear him?
it sounds like nothing. When you holding the camera in one hand, a backpack, and a 50-pound bag in the other hand, yeah, you'll be like, okay, this is not. Not all fun and games, like they say. Good on Instagram. In real life, my ass is working. Okay.
Oh my goodness. So let me ask you this, because you were talking about engineering. It takes, listen, you have to put in some time, you have to put in some sweat in order to be able to establish a career in engineering. And
Well, yeah, I mean, as a youth, I'll call myself a smart kid. And I went to the high school for engineering and science here in Philly. And so I was kind of math oriented youth. And, it was tough, but yeah, I did it. Looking back, it made sense because I did it because I wanted to do it for the money. And I knew as a career, engineering was a good career path. And had I just stayed in that career path, I would have been fine and, made a bunch of money and all that good stuff. But, I guess I was 33 when I tapped out. And I guess I felt like at that point, you can either keep doing something and it's just for the money and it's nice to have money, but just for the money. And you get up on Monday morning and it's like, oh God, I gotta go to work, I gotta folks. And then at that time, it was really, there's some Black folks in the, kind of STEM world, I'll call it. But in the 90s, when I was doing it, my first job was, I guess, in the winter of '89, because I'm old.
Get out of here.
In the 90s, there weren't a lot of folks looking like us working in some of those companies. And so in most of the companies, I would be the only brother. And so it was cool. I mean, they liked me and, things went well, but you could always feel that thing, like, I'm not doing this my whole life, because I feel like I was always capable and able to make things happen. I was like, well, let's just make it happen in another way where I could do it on my own and work with, people who I want to work with, not just who's, paying the bills.
Right.
So, yes, it was a good transition. I'm happy about it. Although in the last 2 years, I have been back kind of doing the corporate thing again, where I don't know, some people know, but I'm vice president of sales and marketing for a security company. So we provide security systems, primarily guards. Guards are our biggest, source of income. So it's about a 200-person company.
Well, wait, I want to make sure I understand. When you say guards, you're talking about physical security and an individual.
Right.
Okay.
So we have a lot of clients in cannabis, actually. So dispensaries, grow facilities, processing facilities. And we're in multiple states. We're in Maryland, Pennsylvania, Michigan, Massachusetts, California. So Missouri, I do that also. So that's a full-time job. So,
yeah, I was about to thank you for saying that, because I was just about to say, wait a minute, how many of you are there?
And the bike shop. Yeah, and the bike shop. Although the bike shop, it's been 2+ years since we started the bike shop. It's Bikes by Design. You can go to bikesbydesign.com. But we closed the shop in Northern Liberties a couple months ago after our second robbery, actually. So the shop has just big giant glass windows on two sides. The frontage is 7-foot tall windows all the way around. Okay. And the first time we got robbed, they smashed the door and came and they stole a bike. And then a couple months ago, right before the lease renewed, they smashed one of the main window panels. Stole a bike, and it was just Philly is the block is hot.
Listen, right? I was about to say we're going to talk about that too. Take 1 second, family. Hey there.
Okay.
We're going to talk about that. Hold on one second, family. Hey there, I'm talking to you. If you have just joined us, welcome, welcome, welcome. You are tuned in to Love and Life with yours truly, Carol Riddick, right here on WURD. We're talking with Whitney Thomas, and we're talking about so many things. But listen, we're going to take a short commercial break, but do know that the phone lines are still open, and feel free to continue to comment on our socials. When we come back, Whitney and I are going to talk about how hot the block is. Just how hot the block is. Stay with us, family, because we'll be right back.
WURD Radio is sharing a harvest for the world. Now through December 31st, visit wordradio.com to find information on upcoming give back events in the Philadelphia area. If your organization is hosting free clothing giveaways, food drives, free workshops, community dinners, and more, please share the details using the form on our website. Visit wordradio.com and look for the Harvest banner. It's harvest time, and we're sharing information on those giving back to the community. The Harvest is brought to you by Comcast, Pico, Keystone First, and the United Way. We are WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
WURD Radio Digital Tip of the Month is brought to you by Comcast.
With the cost of today's devices going up every year, you might want to think about buying a refurbished gadget for your next upgrade. Here are some things to think about before you buy. There is a difference between refurbished and open box. An open box gadget is usually still new, while refurbished devices have been repaired or restored in some way. Make sure you buy devices that were refurbished by the original manufacturer or have been factory certified. It might be a good idea to get a warranty in this case, otherwise you may fall victim to an as-is product that doesn't work. And finally, don't buy any refurbished electronics that don't come with some sort of return policy. You don't want to get stuck with a final sale that ends up dying after a week. Buying used can be a great way to save money while still getting a like-new device. Just make sure you do your homework first. Stay tuned to WURD for more tips and stay connected with us at wordradio.com.
Wednesday's Powerball jackpot now has an estimated annuity of $374 million. $374 million. So don't forget to play at your local retailer or online. Pennsylvania Lottery proceeds benefits older Pennsylvanians every day. Players must be 18 or older. Please play responsibly.
Texting him back. I'm just posting a story. I'm just changing the song.
No. When it comes to distracted driving, just don't. Sending a text takes your eyes off the road for just 5 seconds, but in that time, your car can travel the length of an entire football field. Any distracted driving just isn't worth it.
Visit StopTextsStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
This is your celebration.
I am Eternal Pope, and
I'm Mark House.
From the film Gaining Ground, The Fight for Black Land, we want to wish WURD
a happy 20th anniversary.
WURD.
Hey everyone, my name is Ricky Brown, the Community Engagement Specialist for Philadelphia Parks and Recreation, and I want to say happy 20th anniversary to WURD Radio.
Hi, my name is Osage, and I'm here to wish WURD a happy 20th year anniversary, and they're really important in the community, and we need them, especially Shamari.
We're celebrating 20 years of progressive Black Talk Media.
What is love?
You're listening to Love and Life on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
I think I know what love is.
Well, hello there, family. Welcome back. You are tuned in to Love and Life with yours truly, Carol Riddick, right here on WURD. I do want to acknowledge some of our family members that are checking in on our socials. Daryl Ridgway says, good evening. Well, good evening to you, sir. And he shares, what's up, Whit? What's up? Miss Joanne is checking in. Hi there, beautiful. She's just sending peace and love to everybody, as is Thaddeus Juan Cradle, sending greetings and love to everybody. And Cornell was agreeing with a statement you made, Whit. I'm not sure which one, but I did see when he popped into the chat. So Cornell was agreeing with a statement that you made. And Nicole Streets writes, hi, Mr. Thomas.
Oh.
So our family members are checking in. So Whit, I want to ask you, before we talk about how hot the block is, I want to go back to the security company because I neglected to ask you, now, number one, how long have you been the CEO of the security company?
Well, vice president of sales and marketing.
Vice president of sales. Look at that. See, look at it. CEO. I made you CEO.
No, one of my buddies started the company in 2016. Yeah, so it's grown pretty quick to over 200 or so employees, which is great for a small company. Doing millions of dollars. Actually, one of my buddies from Philly, and I came in to kind of help diversify the business into more traditional areas, outside of cannabis primarily.
Okay.
So, yeah, that's kind of the goal. So I'm looking at things like schools, universities, hospitals. Actually, we've since taken over World Cafe Live security, so that's pretty cool.
Nice.
Here in Philly. Yeah. So, just diversifying into other areas and, being a corporate sales guy again, which I still love it, but now I'm going my own way on my own terms. And, so
I was about to say that always makes a difference when you are doing things on your own terms.
The company is CLG and Associates. That website is clgseccon.com. But actually, if that comes up for a listener who knows a business that needs security, that's what
well, that's why I'm asking. I was like, okay, you kind of just threw that in there, just kind of. It's like, so what about it again now?
I know I have so many different things going on. Sometimes I have to make sure I give each thing the right amount of.
Well, that's understandable. That's absolutely understandable. So, okay, so now, family, you all know how I am. You know that I'm, I mix apples with oranges all the time. But Whit knows that too because he's known me forever.
I talk about everything. So
right.
Who knows I got mad opinions. So
I was just about to say,
go in on whatever topic you want.
Listen, family. If you do not follow Whitney on social media, please, when I tell you he is entertainment at its best, he is, listen, Summer knows, Nicole knows, y'all know, and Daryl knows. I know y'all know. And Willie shares, hey, brother Whit, welcome to the show. And I love your work as well. But everybody knows I've come to enjoy your commentary, I should say. You have some very, very interesting opinions, most of which, are opinions with which I agree. I
agree. People just don't like to say it. You know what I mean? I'm the guy. You know how if something goes down and somebody's standing there and they're going, "Is this person crazy?" And I'm the one that says it, and everybody else is thinking it.
Yes, you.
Like, are you serious?
You do.
I'm just comfortable saying it out loud, and so I'm gonna keep being that guy. So,
you do.
You're in the music industry, and I've been banging the drum on our culture killing us for so long. You've been doing stuff I've been writing. I think I started ranting about that stuff around 2008 when I first got on the Facebook, and was just like, we are killing ourselves with this culture of madness, and you see it on social media. You see it on Instagram. Just good Lord.
Instagram, YouTube. You see, primarily I see it the most on Instagram and YouTube.
The music industry is just, I don't know what is happening. The sexy reds and I just
listen. So that's what I was going to start this conversation because you said the block is hot. Well, listen, the world is on fire if the block is hot.
Yes, it is. Yeah. Okay. Look, Jesus is gonna be back any day. He's gonna be like, yo, I'm here and y'all been fucked. Okay. All y'all going the wrong way.
He's going to say, I left you to your own vices, and this is what you did. This is what happened. Listen, Summer said you're a hoot. She said she calls it trauma rap. That's
Right.
exactly.
Oh, you don't want to know what I call it, especially what the girls are doing. I can't even say it on air.
No, don't get my show canceled, okay?
I don't know what's happening.
But we
I
just
know
started.
what's happening actually, but
Yeah, well, no, talk to me about it. Talk to me about it. Share with our family members.
I mean, we don't control who's distributed, who's funded, who's pushed out there. Because we don't, and we live in a world that doesn't like us. They give us what's not good for us
to continue this narrative. They
right. It's all about design. I mean,
absolutely.
For years now, when I first started, and we can actually tie some of these things together. When I first started shooting music artists, it was just a perfect time because I was here when the whole neo soul thing was going crazy, and there was so many artists out of Philly, artists like yourself and Jill, and Flowetry and music, and just so many people, Jeff Bradshaw, Jaguar, right? There were so many artists here in Philly doing their thing and hot at that moment, and I was fortunate enough to shoot up most of these artists. And at the same time, you could see that even though they were popular, those artists, yourself included, were never as popular as the young ratchet, wow, not good for you music artists. It's almost like junk food was always more popular than vegetables, and they do that on purpose. And unfortunately, I don't think we invest enough in our well-being to recognize a lot of that.
We don't control anything.
No, but we don't consume it in a way that if we didn't, we could have some effect on it. But I think we've just gotten so used to just eating what they give us.
I can agree with that. Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. We take what's given. We don't question it. We don't look for different. We don't ask for different. We don't insist on different. We didn't know.
Politics, and with politics, that's another area where I've bumped heads with a lot of people for a long time, just in how we blindly vote for the Democratic Party because that's what we vote for, because we hate the Republican Party, so we vote for the Democratic Party. The problem is the Democratic Party takes Black people for granted, and so now we don't get anything from anybody. And that whole system is propagated in a way that it's just self-sustaining. I mean, you just put up a party like the Republicans who openly don't court us and who are openly, disdainful towards us. It makes you think you have to vote for this other party, but then this other party just gives lip service and never does anything.
Right.
Like, for perfect examples, we live in Philadelphia, and Philly is a mess. And Philly has traditionally had Democratic governors, Democratic mayors, Democratic city council. It's blue all over the place, and Philly's a mess. So it makes you wonder, well, what's happening? What are you voting for?
Well, it doesn't make you wonder because I say it all the time. Okay, so we've got, what do we do? What is the answer? Because you've got trash here, you've got trash there. So where do you look? Where do you go? What is the answer? What do you do?
The answer is to start caring and asking questions. Because unfortunately, what happens, and this happens with everything, like I say, this is so crazy, like on social media. If something comes up on social media and you say, that's not cool, it can be something terrible, right? That's not cool. There'll be a legion of people arguing with you about how it's okay. Like if you say the ratchet girls that they keep putting out there, the Sukianas and the Sexy Reds and all these girls, if all no clothes on ever.
Ever.
If you say that's not the best for our young girls, you'll get a legion of people who argue with you from our community. And as long as they know that, how do you correct anything when, the most basic thing doesn't appear to bother enough of us? Not good.
So my question is it that there are not enough of us that are bothered, or is it that there are not enough of us that are bothered that are speaking up about it or doing anything about it?
I think it's both. I routinely wish that people would speak up more. That's why over the years, when I would do my rants, a lot of people would agree, and a lot of people agree in silence, unfortunately. And that silent majority was killing us. Just like now, I'm a spiritual guy, and the word says, "Let the redeemed of the Lord say so." A lot of us don't. So there's a lot of folks who are Christian and spiritual in their own way, whether they're at church on Sunday or not, but they don't speak up for the gospel. They're too quiet, and they don't expect that people should care or expect that people should travel that narrow path. We're too comfortable on the wide road, knowing it leads to destruction, as the word says, but we're comfortable on that road. We're comfortable with our culture on that road, with our kids traveling that road, with with the all the entertainment. It's always the powers and the drug dealers, hustlers, gangsters, whores, pimps. That it's always that same thing, and nobody's saying we should be traveling a different path. And I think that a lot of that is our undoing.
So that's why I say, okay, there are enough of us that don't like the path on which we are. There are, and I'm in agreement with you when you say that we don't speak up about it. But what do we do? What do we do when this is being pushed? This is what's being spoon fed to us. This is what they're selling to our babies. And understand, no, family, don't misunderstand me, because I know there are people out here who they continue to make this music. They continue to push these visuals. They continue, but here we are over here saying, look, I'm not having any part of that. I'm not feeding that to my child. But here it is on the grand scheme when it's continuously being fed. So what do we do to stop that cycle? What do we do? And I've asked that of our family members. I do want to acknowledge that our family members are joining the conversation, and I need to acknowledge that Malcolm shares, he agrees. I see a lot of garbage on YouTube and the gram. Harold shares he watched some Chicago drill music videos on the rapper King Von, who was murdered. His mouth dropped open. He was in total shock. Malcolm shares he's proud to be old school. And Kevin says, hey, quit. And Malcolm shares we celebrate the ratchet. Just real talk. Janine shares facts. Whitney, tell it like it is. Carlos, hi there. Thank you for joining us, both Janine and Carlos. We're not speaking up about it. We're not. Harold asks, how do we fight against drill rap? It's the most violent music I've seen. I'm not even familiar with drill.
I don't think a lot of people even know what drill is. Drill is like the most extreme version of violent rap music. It's mostly done by young, gang affiliated cats like in Chicago and different like Baltimore, different inner cities where they're actually holding guns in the videos, and it's way out there if you haven't heard it. And all they do is about their enemies, call them the ops, and who they're gonna kill and who got killed. And yeah, drill is a whole different animal.
See what I'm saying?
I can't even begin to understand how terrible that stuff is.
So
we're not, it's like my man said, there's not enough people speaking up about it. Like, it's always strange to me. I'll give you a perfect example. I've ran it that I don't know why I don't hear more women online complaining about the music. Because their daughters, like, I don't know if you saw this story this week, this young girl, she was a ballet teacher. It got viral. She was talking about teaching 5-year-olds ballet. And then in classes, the 5-year-olds are like, don't tell me what to do, and I'm not doing that. And she's playing different kinds of music for them to dance to, and they want to hear Sexy Red, and they're asking for Pound Town and Ski Yee, these horrible songs. And how do these 5-year-old girls even know that music? But I guess their mothers are playing it and they're hearing it, and it's horrible music. There's not enough. I don't know what it is.
Oh my goodness. I just that first of all, that just this whole lesson I just received on drill rap, and now a fight these babies asking to hear Sexy Red. I've never even heard a Sexy Red song. I'm going to say that. I don't care to do so, but I have not heard one.
Heard one of the choruses because it's pretty horrible of her most popular song, but yeah,
I don't think I have.
I think you have.
You think
something something being brown and something else being pink?
No.
We won't even.
Okay. All right. On that, well, I definitely don't think I want to know. Listen.
Like, you won't believe it's popular. First of all, it's just straight out.
Where are they playing this music?
On the radio. They're playing it everywhere.
You cannot be serious.
No, I am very.
You're telling me that the subject matter is deplorable, but they're playing this on the airwaves.
On the airwaves. But if you look at most of the popular women, they're all playing from the same playbook. It just keeps getting worse.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, he started with a somewhat, if you want to call it, clean, even though she's real aggressive with it, female image of Beyonce, and then you get the Beyonce begets the Cardi B's and begets the Megan Thee Stallions, which begets the Lottos and the Ice Spices, and now you got the next version, which is the Sukianas and Sexy Reds. It just keeps going. Like negativity and depravity exists on a continuum. It doesn't stop. It just evolves. So each time the next person comes out with something real crazy and depraved and people like it, the next person is in the lab in the studio coming up with the next thing.
Yeah, but see, okay. You know what? Wait, it's time for us to take a commercial break. Look at me. I'm like all carried away. I'm into this. Family, listen, stay with us because we are going to continue this conversation when we come right back.
And now,
in the midst of challenging times, our Black spaces, our voices, and our stories are under attack. Our goal? To reach 2,000 members by the end of the year. We need your support now more than ever. WURD Radio has been your trusted source for Black talk media for 20 years, and we want to continue making history for another 20. This is urgent, and the time to act is now. Help us move forward and up to reach our goal. Visit WURDradio.com and join the movement. Let's stand together. Let's make a difference. Go to WURDradio.com and become a member today.
What time is it? It's time to get lit for Christmas. Universal. We transformed the big top into a Christmas wonderland. Real snow in the lobby, Christmas characters, toy soldiers, and sing along to all your favorite Christmas jams.
Mama, I want Mommy. Mommy, what? So you gave me tickets to Universal Circus?
Come get lit for Christmas with the Spirit of Soul. Now through December 3rd at Fairmount Park. UniversalCircus.com.
Tonight's Mega Million jackpot now has an estimated annuity of $335 million. $335 million. So don't forget to play at your local retailer or online. Pennsylvania lottery proceeds benefits older Pennsylvanians every day. Players must be 18 or older. Please play responsibly.
Austin Center here, driver of the Discount Tire, number 2 Ford Mustang, and 2022 NASCAR Cup Series Rookie of the Year. Having the right tire pressure on the racetrack is crucial to my success. Tire pressure is also critical to keeping you safe on the road. Whether it's for safe stopping distances in all seasons or getting the best gas mileage, you want to keep your vehicle's tires properly inflated. Check your tire pressure at least once a month or stop by a local tire retailer for an air check.
a message from the U.S. Tire Manufacturers Association.
Hey there, good people. This is Mother, Andrea Lawful Sanders, your host Mondays through Fridays from 5 to 7 a.m. I want to thank you all, first of all, for joining me there because it warms my heart to see so many of you move to join me at 5 o'clock in the morning. I get up at 3:45 each morning so I can talk to each and every one of you and you reciprocate. On The Source, we talk about solutions. You've all seen me do this. Education is huge and you all know Mother loves her seasoned citizens, right? And so we have all the conversations that you could possibly want. We also open up the phone line so you can call anytime you want to, because I always have a good dose of love and affection and understanding for each and every one of you. You know, we are undeniably here for you, the listeners. You have been so kind and so generous to us over the years, and it was my ultimate goal to give you exactly what you are looking for. So remember now, in these Wacondan streets, you can join us 5 a.m. every Monday through Friday, only on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media. Meet us there and see you soon.
Let me tell you something, and don't you ever forget it. success is nothing without someone you love to share it with.
You're listening to Love and Life with Carol Riddick on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
Well, hey there, family. Welcome back. You are tuned in to Love and Life with yours truly, Carol Riddick, right here on WURD. Family, we are having this conversation with our guest in this hour, Whitney Thomas. The conversation has gone from photography and videography and his bicycle shop and him being the VP of sales and marketing for a security company to us talking about entertainment overall. And first of all, I've gotten an education in these past few minutes. I am so shocked. I'm sitting here sounding, I don't even understand.
Yeah, if you heard some of it, you would be like, "Oh my God!" If you think it's bad from what you heard, wait till you hear some of this other stuff.
Let me tell you how out of the loop I feel, because I said I didn't know who Sexy Red was. Didn't know where she came from. I said, "Who is this now?" When I saw her, and then I said, "Okay, so what does she do?" And then I saw that she was an artist, and I said, "Oh, okay." I like I said, I've never heard her music. I don't know any of it. I didn't know who Ice Spice was. I just saw her.
Literally deplorable. If you read the lyrics, it's rough.
So, okay.
I would, before we get going with that though, there's a topic that you could address that bugs me.
Okay.
That's an interesting one that tends to start fires all over the place, like I do. And this is something that, and you have to hear me out, that I hate. I hate this Black woman, Black girl magic. I hate that stuff.
The thought behind it, just everything about it.
And the reason why I hate all of it before the women get crazy is it used to be Black power, Black people. Now the enemy has successfully created this divide. I don't think that a lot of people are realizing that they're participating in this divide by propagating these ideas like, oh, the Black women, and it's to the point where I think people don't realize you are now separating yourself in a way that the enemy wanted. So now you're not saying Black power, you're saying Black women power.
We've been talking about that. We talked about that.
Drives me nuts. That's what right up there with the music stuff for me, because I don't think that people understand how heavy and important that is to the destruction of our community.
Well, I want to add to that, because it's not just in our music. And I agree with you. We had this conversation in family. You might remember the conversation we had with Dr. Io Gooden, because she introduced that very same topic in a conversation. And I think you're absolutely right. So do you remember the movie Black Panther, the second one?
I hated it.
I hated it. I was so disturbed by the movie, because in the first movie we had Black families. And there was such a huge presence of Black families. There was such a huge presence of the relationship between the Black woman and the Black man. The second one, where were our men?
Well, but Disney and Marvel they're on the front lines of the feminist no need for men movement. And if you can see it in some of their latest offerings, and they're struggling partly because of it. Like the Captain Marvel movie, where they introduced all these new female characters that, for whatever reason, they've taken, and I saw a YouTube video that described this really well, especially when it comes to comic book superheroes. They said that they took movies that boys like and that girls could enjoy, and they made them girl movies that girls don't even go see. And so they're purposely, I think people don't understand that the Black man, who's the backbone of our community, they say the Black women, but the Black man is the backbone of the Black community. And they continue to destroy the Black man's image, try to take the power away from the Black man. And unfortunately, with this new thing that's happening, a lot of the feminism movement is based out of people who don't like us. It's based out of groups that are anti-men for a host of reasons. I won't even get into the names of these groups because they're, common names that, you don't want to start that argument. But they already don't like men. And then you got folks that already don't like Black people, and obviously by default Black men. And those groups are at the tip of the spear of those movements. And a lot of our sisters don't realize you're participating in movements that are really anti-Black men. And they're feeding the ego of our women to make them feel good and powerful, which, should be, they should feel good and powerful because they are
supported.
They're feeding that in a way where it's about separation from brothers rather than in congruence with brothers. And it's a horrible thing to watch, and you can see it playing out. You see it in these movies, and you're going to continue to see it. Just like there's this odd thing happening in Hollywood where they keep casting Africans rather than African Americans to play roles of Black people. I mean, this latest movie, I guess it's this Bass Reeves, the original Black cowboy sheriff. He's being played by an African. It just, it's to the point where they go next. Is Martin going to be?
Possibly.
Uganda next.
But listen, anything to continue the narrative and to.
But what it is we don't pay enough attention and we don't speak out enough on the kinds of things that are leading towards our destruction, our downfall, and it's going to be our end.
It is. It really is. Listen, I'm telling you, we have this conversation here. We had it. This started some months ago. We were talking about this, how we, the Black woman and Black man, no longer know who we are to one another. And we're getting farther and farther and farther away from it.
Right.
And it hurts me so deeply. So I am in full agreement with you. I mean, it's nothing. Don't misunderstand me, because I want to be clear. I am all for supporting my fellow females, my fellow women. I'm all for supporting one another. But I love our Black men. I say it all the time. I love y'all. And we need each other.
I just say change the language. Stop with the separation and the Black women. Say Black people.
We haven't said Black power in years.
Exactly.
It was a whole some generations ago when we said that last and meant it because when we said it, then we lived in it.
That's how you got these arguments now, like don't take me to the Cheesecake Factory. Really all it's about is I want to go to a restaurant where I can take Instagram photos and post it and be fly. I don't even care who you are. I don't care about getting to know you, the guy who's taking me on a date. I just want you to take me somewhere that I can enjoy a meal on your dime and take some cool photos.
That entire scenario hurt my feelings.
Yes. Well, when you get to the point where you don't even care who's on the other side of the table, that's a problem. And it's because it's become transactional. It's just, what can I get from you rather than what can we build together?
Right.
And so, it's a lot going on out there right now that, it's kind of scary. I really want to start a YouTube channel at some point and just start yapping about this stuff on a daily basis. So,
I mean, really? Well, how about family? I just want to add, because we have Chris Murray, who's in our next hour, our sports guru. And Chris is sending me a message. Chris writes, listen, I agree with Whitney. Kids are coming into college not knowing anything about Black history. And he's right. He's so right. But here we are as adults. We don't, like I said, we don't know one another. We're not trying to know one another. Everything has become, as you said, Whitney, so transactional. And it's not, you know what? My family would say don't use the word hate, but I do hate that.
It's transactional and adversarial. There's no love in it.
Absolutely.
And anything you do, if you don't have love in it, it's not going to prosper. Or it'll prosper for the wrong reasons, but the outcome won't be what you want in the long run.
How about that? Whit, first of all, I think you should come back more often and you should talk with us about, I love you more, but we should talk about the world more often. That's what we need to do. You and I need to have these conversations Okay, right. Chris shares not every date he has with his wife is on Facebook and Instagram, and it shouldn't be. It should not be.
No.
Because that's not life. That's not real life. Listen to this, Joanne. Look at this, Miss Joanne. Come back, Whit. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to work on Whitney so Whitney can come on with us, more often, and we can dig deep into what's going on in the world. Whit can offer us his opinion on what's going on in the world.
We can run through a whole host of topics.
We sure can. Because there's enough. They give us enough. We didn't even get to talking about these lawsuits that's going on now. Yes, he is. Yeah, yes. We didn't even get to talking about these lawsuits that are taking place now. Jamie Foxx, Puffy, everything that's going on in Elson Entertainment.
That's a real slippery slope too.
It is so slippery, but you know what? But I think it's definitely a conversation that we it's a worthwhile conversation. Malcolm shares Whitney is keeping it real. That's why I'm inviting him back.
What's interesting about those lawsuits? Some of those lawsuits are being filed by the same attorneys.
Well,
I'll just leave that there.
That doesn't even surprise me. But how about this? Whit,
killing the brothers right now. They wearing the brothers out, and some of the brothers deserve it, but not all of them do. But they being represented by some of the same people. I'll just say the extortion game.
They ride a wave. I was about to say they ride a wave. They run with these things. You and I know, but that's why I was saying we need to have the conversation because from the optics, people who don't know will say, "Oh my goodness, blah 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 blah." But you and I know that. You and I know.
Let me too easy to target. Also, it's easy to go after a brother right now in 2023, and because a bandwagon will just you are guilty.
On that note,
otherwise.
Yeah, how about that? On that note, Whitney, thank you so much for joining us.
Now,
wait for you to come back, and I'm going to be knocking on your door. When can you come back? We're going to do an entertainment segment. That's what we're going to do. I love you. Give my love to the family. And I will see you soon. Family, stay with us because we'll be right back.
It's the WURD Hot 60. Hot 60. Here's the hottest 60 seconds you missed this week on Reality Check.
I was telling my students the other day, one of the things that kills the local scene is that people don't understand that even though you have all these radio stations and all these newspapers, there are really only 5 radio stations and 5 newspapers.
Right.
And then all of the radio stations and all of the newspapers, that's why WURD radio is important.
Right.
It is because the WURD and stations that exist that local communities still have a voice.
Right.
And that local artists can still get quote put on.
Yep.
But the problem is if we're not frequenting or supporting our local radio or frequenting our local mom and pop record shops, right? That's one of the things we stopped doing. That's what streaming kills. I used to love to spend all day Saturday, not just at the local radio station, but I would be in the local station to see which one of my favorite local groups has an album out. We don't do that anymore.
Right.
And so that's what's important because it's killing our voice. It's killing our culture.
And that's your hottest 60 seconds this week from Reality Check on WURD Progressive. Black Talk Media.
If you don't have health insurance right now, this message from United Healthcare is for you. With United Healthcare Community Plan Medicaid coverage, you get all the regular Medicaid benefits like doctor visits, prescription drugs, and hospital care. Plus, you get a lot of extras you can only get from United Healthcare. That includes the One Pass All-in-One Fitness Program. At no cost to you, One Pass helps you work out how, when, and where you want to. You can visit many local gyms such as Planet Fitness, Anytime Fitness, and LA Fitness. You can even visit more than one gym on the same day or on multiple days. Prefer to stay home? OnePass has you covered with thousands of live online classes, well-being programs, and customizable workout plans. To learn more, visit uhccp.com/PA. That's uhccp.com/PA.
Tonight's Mega Million jackpot now has an estimated annuity of $335 million. $335 million. So don't forget to play at your local retailer or online. Pennsylvania lottery proceeds benefits older Pennsylvanians every day. Players must be 18 or older. Please play responsibly.
Hey, everything okay?
Yes, I'm fine.
Honey, hey, I'm here for you. Tell me about school today.
When kids can't find the right words, music can help them sound it out. Talk to the kids in your life about their emotional well-being. Find tools and resources at sounditouttogether.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and Pivotal Ventures.
I'm Carol Riddick, the host of Love and Life. And guess what, family? I will be live. That's right. I can speak with you about the real facts and honest opinions on dating, sexual health, casual and committed relationships. Join me Monday through Thursday from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. The conversations will be served on a judgment-free platter and seasoned with unapologetic realness. So join me Monday through Thursday from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
Celebrating 20 years of progressive Black Talk Media. We're bringing joy and power to the people. This is WURD 900 AM and 96.1 FM, Philadelphia. Streaming online at wordradio.com and the WURD Radio app.
Let me tell you something, and don't you ever forget it. Success is nothing without someone you love to share it with.
You're listening to Love and Life with Carol Riddick on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
Well, hey there, family. Welcome back. Welcome. Chris, we're going to bring you back in 2 seconds. Welcome to Love and Life with yours truly, Carol Riddick, right here on WURD. You see, I'm still, I am, I don't know. I can't get myself together from that conversation we just had in this first hour. Y'all, when I tell you I have gotten an education, there's so much I'm seeing that I'm learning about what's going on in our world of entertainment. I too am an old school lover. I love old school all day, every day. But I don't know, y'all. I don't know what to do. This drill rap thing, y'all have got me going with that. I'm thinking my mind is just going. And I was reading some of the comments that you all shared because of course, I was in the midst of the conversation with Whitney and missed a lot of them while he was still here with us. But there's just a lot going on. What I don't want to do is continue to exclude our guest in this second hour from the conversation because he's been in the background. But I want to join him to the conversation too. Family, I'm inviting you to the conversation with Chris Murray. Hey there, Chris.
Carol, how are you? How's everything going there?
Listen, I will not complain, but when I tell you, you came in on the tail end of the conversation we were having in the first hour.
Yeah.
So are you familiar with drill rap?
What is drill rap? Now, I've heard of what is it, trap rap and all that, but what is drill rap?
See, I don't even know what trap rap is. Family, and then I'm going to ask y'all to school me again. Wait,
Yeah,
you know what,
school me
Harold? I'm
too.
going to beat you with the wet noodle. Harold talking about my favorite rapper is Bushwick Bill because Bushwick Bill scared the crap out of me. He used to scare me.
My mind playing tricks on me.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, but so what is trap rap? Is that what you said?
Something like that, trap rap. It kind of goes. I don't know what that is. Now, like I said, whoever's out there that can educate, but that's what I've heard. Trap rap, and then now it's drill rap. What is drill rap? Is that like
Wait.
drill sergeant or?
No,
I
well,
don't know.
okay, according to our family members, they're rapping about actual murders. Like
Oh Lord.
like real murders, right, family? That's what you said. You typed real murders. They're rapping about real murders. And I don't understand. First of all, I don't even understand how it's like how we're allowing this. I don't understand that. And here's
don't
another
get
part
that.
of that, because we have the family, we talk about all of this nonsense that's on Instagram and YouTube. They police everything else. Why not that? Why not that?
I have no idea because I don't know when I guess everybody's favorite now the female rappers Ice Spice and some of these it's just
Let me tell you, I didn't know what or who an Ice Spice. I still don't really know. I saw her in a commercial of
yeah.
a Dunkin' Donuts commercial, but I'm not familiar with any of her music. I don't know any of Sexy Red's music. And someone else, Whitney mentioned, I don't know any of their music.
Neither
I
do
don't.
I. Well,
Yeah.
I see the videos on TikTok or something like that, and I just think it's a funny thing. One of my colleagues, one of my colleagues at Bowie State posted some along those lines saying that what are we coming to,
Where
and I mean it's a funny thing, when it comes to music. I love love songs. I love love
Mhm.
songs by female singers like yourself and others. I love a good love song because women singers move me, and I also like when the brothers sing. When we sing from the heart too. I just
Mhm.
love that. I kind of retreat into that
Mhm.
music because I hear it a lot of times. You walk through the student center of a university like Bowie State. It's the kids, it's their time and all that, but I still like music that appeals to my heart, because there's so much, I don't want to hear I killed this guy, da, 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 da. I there was a point. Let me say this. There was a point back in the 90s, and Denise kind of looked at me funny a little bit. There was a point in the 90s that when it started talking about materialism and denigrating lyrics about women, that bothered me. It
Mhm.
bothered
Mhm.
me because we had just come out of the conscious rap era. We were talking about lifting up the black woman, lifting up the black man, and it comes back down to Pastor Cavassier has a great beat and all that other stuff, but it's like it's just like there was a point where when we internalized the worst of capitalism. I don't want to get into that,
Yeah,
into
yeah,
that
yeah.
conversation.
What I do want to share. So Malcolm shares that trap music is drug house music. Harold shares that it's from the old. It's old from the South, and drill rappers are actually getting RICO charges because their lyrics are real. Nick, I know that you want to share. You want to add to this conversation. Please do.
Yes, enlighten us.
Yeah, so I'm about 26 now. I listen to a lot of different rap music.
Okay.
Mostly what's prevalent today is drill music, of course. Trap you were hearing a lot of in 20, I'd say about 2015 up till 2019, and then drill came along and kind of took over as the popular genre. What you get with a lot of drill music is people who are actually in gangs. So young people, ages 14 to 22 usually. They're in gangs and they're rapping about who in another gang that they killed. There was a big song that blew up a couple years ago called "Who I Smoke," where drill rappers, it's kind of an expression. Whenever they kill somebody, they say they put them in a pack and then they smoke that pack. So they're talking about smoking people who are dead,
Oh
literally.
my.
And the most disturbing thing about it, other than the fact that it's a bunch of young black people talking about rapping about killing other young black people, is that the people that they're killing are very, very young. There was a guy who King Von used to mention a lot. A guy named Tuka, and King Von is one of the biggest drill rappers. He was one of the biggest drill rappers. He was murdered, I think, last year, if I'm not mistaken, or maybe almost 2 years ago. And he always used to talk about that he was smoking on Tuka. And
Mm.
Tuka was a 15-year-old kid that was killed at a bus stop.
Oh my lord.
And so you're going to hear a lot of language in drill songs, which it's like, what does this mean? What are these encoded messages? And it's pretty much a whole bunch of gang slang and people rapping about like keeping score about who they've killed or what ops that they've slimed out, I guess. And people kind of they follow it online, like how Chris Murray here follows how a Eagle season is going. There's people who literally put together murder cases based off of the rap lyrics in one person's song and a rap lyrics in another person's song. It's
That is
extensive and it's wild.
unbelievable.
It's wild.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable
That's
that this
insane.
is that's not music, that's not entertainment. That's okay. Okay. All right. So trap music, let me make sure I understand, Nick. You said okay, trap music is what, so what's the subject matter? Is there what's trap music? Is there
Trap music is a little bit different because trap music is one of the people online had already mentioned it, but trap music is what people listen to while they're in a trap house where they're making drugs. Basically, it's pretty much just an evolution of drug dealer music that you were getting out of like Jay-Z back in the 90s, but it's not so focused on killing people as it is about making money and slinging drugs. I guess that's kind of the
so let me
difference.
ask you, Nick. Okay, so do you listen to Ice Spice and who do we
Sexy Red.
Sex? Yes, thank you. I couldn't think of her name.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't, and I try and avoid it because the music is. I mean, when we define music, I think looking at those two artists, it's just the most lazy, bare bone content that there is, and it's only going to appeal to. Well, I can't say that. It seems like it has a lot of appeal. It just doesn't appeal to me. So I know people on like TikToks, they like it and all that stuff. But me personally, I think the music it comes to a certain point to me where it doesn't really sound like music. So I kind of tune it out. So I like to avoid it. But you'll hear it just, on the radio or anything like that. It's very popular music.
I cannot be I can't believe that this music is played on the radios. I'm sorry. Family, I know what you're saying. She keeps asking the same thing. They're playing this. I do. I am in such shock and disbelief that, like you can actually turn on the radio and hear this music that we're talking about. That is okay. All right. So thank you, Nick. Thank you for helping me with that. Thank you, family, for helping me with that. But so Chris, listen, I came prepared. Look, I'm in my Eagles jersey. Okay. I came prepared. I'm wearing my gear. Family, we're going to switch gears. Okay. We're going to talk about something else in this hour because on Tuesdays, that's what we're doing now. In this hour, we're talking with our resident sports guru, the one and only Chris Murray. Chris, I'm ready for you, right? I was ready. I did not blink. Now, we're not going to just talk about the Eagles, but I did not blink on Sunday during that Eagles game. I mean, who could, right?
Yeah, and the first half of that game, I was thinking, well, the streak might be coming to an end. It happens. It's a long season and all that. I mean, Jalen Hurts was awful in the first half. 4 out of 11 for about 33 yards. The offense couldn't get out of its own way. And Josh Allen picked the defense. I mean, he picked them apart the whole game. Okay?
He did.
But I'm a student of NFL history. I'm a student of football history. I've seen great quarterbacks struggle in the first half of games and then come back and just figure out a way to beat you. And Jalen Hurts did that along with DeAndre Swift, which I have to question the offensive coordinator. Why not get Swift started early in the game? It's like, don't overcomplicate a very simple thing. Run the ball. Make Jalen Hurts comfortable, because that was the thing that got Jalen Hurts going. But, the defense couldn't stop anybody. The offense in that first half, and I basically posted on my social media places, the secondary was getting picked apart, and the offense was awful. I mean, they were awful. There's no two ways about it. And I'm saying to myself, the play call, what is Brian Johnson thinking? What are you guys doing? Because you're not going to survive this. You're not going to be 10-1 long. If you're not going to keep these records. You do have to have some games. And that was the thing that during the press conference after the game, that Jalen Hurts seemed to be like, look, it's fine to win these games, but he says we have not played up to our standard yet. And that the Eagles have not played up to, because the thing is, I don't mind you going in and blowing out teams, getting out of there early. Because a lot of times close games in some years will go your way. and other years it will not go your way. So it's one of those things that you can definitely say that that the Eagles are struggling on one level, but at the end of the day, it's almost like you can't keep living dangerously. You cannot keep living dangerously and expect to win. But on the one hand, though, but in that second half, I had to give it to Jalen Hurts. That guy will not go. He's like Jason from Friday the 13th. He will not go away. That man will not go away, and he will basically keep coming and keep fighting. And that's the Philly thing.
That's what we want, though, Chris. That's what we want. We don't want him to go. Yeah, listen. When I tell you, I did not take a breath because I must admit, I too was feeling a little down, but I was watching the game with my cousin, and did I not say we are going to win this game? Even though the Bills, when they scored, I said, don't get discouraged. We are going to win this game. She said, cuz I don't know. I said, we're going to win this game. I did. I kept saying yes. So now, with that being said, talking about how they played the Bills, now we have the 49ers and we have Dallas coming up. Excuse me, though. I do see a Dallas fan here. Linda Aviles. Linda. She says, go Cowboys. For all of my Cowboys fans. Brennan, I saw you too. I know you're a Cowboys fan. For all of you Cowboys fans, But I'm curious to know, Chris, with the way that the Eagles played the Bills, do you think they would stand a chance if they played the same way against the 49ers and Dallas?
No, not at all. And I'm going to tell you something. San Francisco is coming into this game on Sunday. They got something to prove because they swear up and down that had the quarterback not gotten hurt and all this other stuff, they would have gone to the Super Bowl. And they're coming in with a huge chip on their shoulder. And the thing is, if the Eagles give up 505 yards to the 49ers, it's not going to be pretty. And the same thing with the Cowboys, because the Cowboys always seem to do well against the Eagles in Dallas. And, just like they did last year. So those games aren't going to be easy. And the Eagles cannot come in. You can't keep having these bad starts and then expect to come, even the great ones, and even like Tom Brady, Joe Montana, Roger Staubach, John Unitas, all those guys, John Elway, who used to come back again. Sometimes even the great, you can't always come back. Superman can't always bring you back. And that's the thing that I think Jalen Hurts was saying kind of implicitly during the press conference. It was like, look, we have to play at a better standard. I'm happy to win, and I'm going to find a way to win and all that, but you can't keep doing that and not in this league. I mean, you can't do that every week. You can't live on the edge and expect to win every game. And that's the problem that I think when you watch these games, sometimes, it could go the other way too. It could also go, you could also lose on a field goal or something like that. So you can't always expect to win. And sometimes, what they need to, like DeAndre Swift, when they ran the ball in the second half, they should have done that in the beginning. Get the running game going. Sometimes coaches overcomplicate this game. Go in there, establish that you're going to kick their butts. And granted, they were playing without Lane Johnson, and he had a groin pull shortly before the game, and they were playing under difficult circumstances, but the play calling, all due respect to Brian Johnson, the offensive coordinator, dude, you got to start off fast. You got to start. You have to end quickly, but you can't put all that pressure on your quarterback. To make plays.
I got a question about that for you, though, Chris. I'm going to stop you for just one moment. Family, hey there, talking to you. Thank you for joining us. How about that? But I see all of these Cowboys fans in our comments. Chris, I see them. I see them. I see them. And I'm going to address that when we come back from this commercial break. But for those of you who are just joining us, you are tuned in to Love and Life with yours truly, Carol Riddick, right here on WURD. We are talking all things sports. Okay. So I know you have comments. I know you have questions. Feel free to drop them in our comment section if you're joining us on our socials. But you know what? You can also call us. And you can do that by dialing 215-634-8065. You can even call us toll free. And you can do that by dialing 1-866-361-0900. We're going to take just a short commercial break, but know that the phone lines are open, and feel free to continue to comment on our socials, and I will do my absolute best to share it when we come back. Stay with us because we'll be right back.
Get ready. Our 7th annual empowerment experience is coming. Join WURD Radio Saturday, December 9th from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. at the Enon Tabernacle Baptist Church Family Life Center, 2800 West Cheltenham Avenue. This year, we acknowledge the Kwanzaa principle of cooperative economics through Ujamaa with a culture-filled holiday marketplace experience featuring artisans and creators of color. You can shop from creations featuring jewelry, clothing, pop-ups, and more. There will be health screenings, job and career resources, and empowering conversations. Interested in vending? Call the station at 215-425-7875 and hit sales for more information. The empowerment experience is free, and keep it locked to WURD Radio or visit wordradio.com for more exciting details. Save the date for Saturday, December 9th. Give the gift of culture this holiday season. The 2023 Empowerment Experience is sponsored by Comcast, Keystone First, Bank of America, Brown's Family ShopRite, Dietz & Watson, Hers, and Pico.
Tailgating season is here. Keep things sizzling all season long with Dietz & Watson. Fire up the grill with perfectly smoked premium franks and sausages, or enjoy endless sandwich combos with fresh sliced meats and cheeses and a variety of bold flavors. There's something for everyone in the family, plus plenty of protein-packed snacks. Head to DietzandWatson.com to find a ShopRite store near you. Dietz & Watson, it's a family thing. Premium meats and artisan cheeses since 1939.
Tonight's Mega Million jackpot now has an estimated annuity of $335 million. $335 million. So don't forget to play at your local retailer or online. Pennsylvania lottery proceeds benefits older Pennsylvanians every day. Players must be 18 or older. Please play responsibly.
Hey, Dad, how do airplanes fly? What's in this box? Can I touch this? Where does sand come from? Is this tree good for climbing? What happens if I mix these two things together? How are babies made? What does this thing do?
Kids are curious about everything, including guns. Talking to them about gun safety in your home is a good first step, but you can do more. Always keep your guns locked, unloaded, and stored separately from ammunition. Storing your guns securely is the best way to prevent family fire, including unintentional shootings. For more information on safe gun storage and ways to keep your family safe, visit endfamilyfire.org. That's endfamilyfire.org.
What do we keep in the attic? What's this thing called? Can I ride my bike backwards?
Like I said, kids are curious. It's up to us to keep them safe. Brought to you by End Family Fire, Brady, and the Ad Council.
You're listening to Love and Life with Carol Riddick on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
Hey there, family. Welcome back. You are tuned in to Love and Life with yours truly, Carol Riddick, right here on WURD. We're talking all things sports with our resident sports guru, Chris Murray, that is. We started the conversation talking about the Eagles, and then we went into the 49ers, and we were talking a little bit about the Cowboys, and we're going to continue that conversation. But one of our family members is calling in to join the conversation. Hello there. I believe we have Joe on line one. Hi, Joe. Welcome to the conversation.
Good evening, Sister Cal, and your wonderful producer, Brother Nicholas. And thank you, Sister Cal, for having my good brother and friend in Chris Murray tonight. That's a wonderful guest to have on. And I love your show. This is actually the first time I called your show. But I will say this, Sister Cal, you have a wonderful show. And when me and his sister start heating up on the dating scene, I'm going to definitely calling you for some advice. Trust me when I tell you. I will be calling. Trust me.
Germantown Joe is in the house.
I never call, but I always listen all the time. And then you have some good relationship advice, and you see your show is non-judgmental. You talk about late intimacy between the couples, sexual situations, romantic. I mean, you covered all, Sister Karen. I just love your show, and like I said, when that sister start heating up, I'm gonna definitely be calling you.
Well, thank you. I welcome the call, and I wish you luck.
Thank you so much. I just wanted to say to you and Chris, like y'all talking about, Chris knows I'm a Dallas Cowboys fan. But I do like Jalen Hurts because I'm one of them type of people, Sister Cal. I'm unapologetic when it comes to black quarterbacks. I support all our black quarterbacks. You know what I mean? Dallas don't win with Dak Prescott or KC, but Mahomes or Baltimore or Lamar and the rest of them. I root for Jalen because I want to see Jalen win last year. He came up a little short, but I always support our black. And I tell that to my white friends, my black friends. When it comes to black quarterbacks, I don't take no prisoners because we've been denied so long for that position. So many brothers over the years, like the Jefferson, Joe Gilliams, the James Harrisons of the world, the Johnny Waltons, they never got a fair shake because of racism. When I see these brothers flourish in the day, Cal, I just love it. And that's the comment I want to make to you and Chris before I get off. To show you how racism is so deep in NFL, you got the New England Patriots, you got Belichick and stuff up coaching the Patriots. He got two white quarterbacks that are bums. Mac Jones, they paid all that money to a #1 draft pick. He's so bad that when he got benched over in Germany the other week, he had to go. He got benched, but the guy that backed him up was so bad he had to go back to Mac Jones. And then in this game just past week when they lost the Giants, Mac Jones bad again, but Belichick is in a bad position because neither one of them can play. But you got a young black quarterback named Trey Lance. Remember this name, Cal? Trey Lance. That was Cowboys. He's being wasted there. He's being wasted with the Cowboys because he's not going to play unless Dak Prescott get hurt. Why don't Belichick make a trade to Dallas? Say we want Trey Lance. We'll build our team around him. We're going to be a bad team for the next year or two. We'll get some nice draft picks around Trey Lance and build our team around him. So by the time we good, and he'll grow with the growing pains that a young quarterback goes through, and they wind up having their franchise quarterback because of racism. They probably won't. They'll probably stick with Mac Jones and that other bum while Trey Lance is rotting away down in Dallas being wasted. I mean, this is ridiculous. I mean, it's totally ridiculous. I mean, them guys just can't play and stuff.
I'm familiar with Trey Lance.
Yeah. Hell of a young quarterback, but he got and what's his name never gave him a fish. He got hurt with the 49ers and what's his name, the coach for the 49ers, he never won them anyway. He made it very clear that wasn't his pick. The general manager drafted Trey, and Trey's biggest mistake was or fault. He just unfortunately got hurt, and once he got hurt, that was it. That was the excuse that Shanahan used to get rid of him, and he's just being wasted down in Dallas. He could be doing the same thing you see C.J. Stroud doing in Houston. This boy could be doing the same thing in New England. I mean, they don't have the weapons, but he could be still making some good plays, showing those flashes, and as they get better with draft picks, he could be their franchise quarterback. But he'd be wasted down in Dallas for the next 3 or 4 years. And it's a shame because of racism. It's out and out racism. They do this all the time, Cal. They'll load up teams with black quarterbacks. Like, for example, Cleveland. The only reason why that young brother playing in Cleveland right now is because Deshaun Watson got hurt. If Deshaun Watson don't get hurt, he'll never see the field, And it's unfortunate. That brother is playing for Cleveland right now. He should start on somebody else's team. And lastly, Sister Cal, with the racism and Chris, the coaching thing. Now, you got Frank Reich, the good old White Boys Network. This guy got fired from 2 jobs in the last 3 years. He got fired by the coach. Just got fired by Carolina. But Enemy can't get a head coaching job. I mean,
that's.
And these brothers need to speak up. These brothers, they have a platform. That's why I can't get these brothers
You know what?
Johnny,
If I might interject, Joe, because that's a good point that you're making. But we just had a former professional football player on last week who was making some good points about things taking place in the league. It's unfortunately it's just not that easy. It's not that they're not speaking up. It's not that easy.
I would agree with that.
see, Cal, they don't use their platform because, see, Cal, I'll say this, Cal, and I'm gone. Back in the day, we had people like Johnny Snapple, Jim Brown, Cookie Gilchrist, and back then they didn't make the kind of money they're making now, and them guys risked it all because back then they didn't make the kind of money. And a lot of players had to have a second job during the off season, and if they was risking it all back then, them brothers, yet they still took a stance against racism. These brothers here in 2023 making millions of dollars. They got a social media platform, and they scared to speak up and stuff. Their old saying go, a closed mouth don't get fed. At some point you got to step up and be a man or a woman and stuff. You just can't keep on letting these people that walk over top of you because like Dr. King say, a man can't ride your back if you bend over. You know what I mean? So
That's a good point, Joe. But and quite honestly, it's interesting that you would make that statement because we seem to be saying the same thing about every single topic about which we speak. And especially tonight, in every conversation we've had tonight, we're saying the same thing, that there are not enough of us that are speaking up and speaking out. It's not that no one is, because some of us are. Some are very vocal. But what we're saying is that there aren't enough that are saying the same thing and saying enough of it.
Yeah. See, here's the thing. What happened to everybody like 2020 during the pandemic and during the George Floyd spring? Every athlete. I mean, I wrote so many stories about athletes speaking out, and I even, I was a part of that. And the question I want to know is what happened? I mean, the NFL has made some performative gestures like end racism. That's a nice thing. But Eric Bieniemy can't get a job as a head coach. And Joe is right about Trey Lance. I mean, a lot of times black quarterbacks often, especially, it's not so much today, but a lot of black quarterbacks sometimes have been in situations where they don't have the coaching around them or the players. I think about, Justin Fields in Chicago. The guy is a good quarterback, but the problem is he has a garbage offensive line, no real good receivers. And I think some of the coaches, quite frankly, are idiots. But that's the thing. And a lot of times, there's still that subtle racism because you're right. Bill Belichick could use a Trey Lance or better yet, Colin Kaepernick, who every time a team is losing a quarterback, nobody considers going after Colin Kaepernick. I mean, now it's getting to a point where the age is starting to set in, but they basically effectively whiteballed him. I'm not going to use the term blackballed. They effectively whiteballed him from ever playing again. And all he did was to basically stand up against police brutality and police violence and everything. He didn't do any. He didn't sexually assault anybody. He didn't do anything, that was, morally incomprehensible, but he spoke up. And that's always the problem. And when it's always this shut up and play thing. And I'm basically I do have a book. I'm not going to advertise it too much until some things work out, but I have a book coming out that I have a collection of stories that I wrote about athletes speaking up in this century, and a lot of athletes are speaking out. But the thing is that momentum is kind of slowed for some reason, and I guess I don't know if we're waiting for the next big event. I don't think we should. I think we should be doing more proactive things. But right now the NFL still has the issue with hiring black head coaches. Those issues are still there. And the players should speak out. I mean, players and the coaches should
Chris,
speak
to
out.
your point, why do you think that is? Why do you think that there's been a diminished activity as it pertains to players speaking out?
That's an interesting thing. I'm still trying to figure that out. Like why? I mean, because there are still some issues that are out there, and I don't know if it's just the play. I think the players union. I don't think does a good job of protecting its own players because I just think that the players don't stand up. I mean, the NFL, your career can end. Your career can end on one play. Your career can be severely hampered or just end on one play, and they don't nearly speak out enough to help each other out in terms of getting pensions, in terms of making sure that they're taken care of, because your life in the league is a flash in the pan. It's like what, 5-6 years, and I mean it takes you 5 years to get a pension, and you got to fight for some of the older athletes. Don't get the kind of health care that they need from the league. So athletes they got to fight back. I don't know why it's slowed down and everything. I'm still trying to figure it out, because right now, I mean, I think things are getting worse right now. I think, for Black people in this
let me ask you
country.
this. Let me ask you this, if you don't mind my interjection. You mentioned Colin Kaepernick. Could it possibly be because of the optics, because of what they actually saw happen with Colin? Do you think that's
that's enough? I mean, the NFL, the NFL can, is powerful enough to keep you out of the game. And basically, there are still some people who, and amongst the ownership, a lot of those guys are Trump supporters too. I mean, some of those guys are very rich and very Republican, and for some reason, the whole idea of of certain Americans expressing their own freedom of speech is still bothersome to some people who are rich and in power. And so and a lot of players aren't going to risk the millions that they're getting and all that. A lot of rank and file, they're not going to risk, losing their careers just to speak out. Although TJ Stroud of the rookie for the Houston Texans, who I think his father has spent some time in jail, is basically talking about how inhumane the criminal justice system is. He's a rookie who's speaking out. So there are guys out there that are talking about the social justice issues.
family? OMG. Hi there, talking to you. Welcome to Love and Light, if in fact you've just joined us. But for those of you who have been with us, I see you in the comments. I see your comments. Don't think I have not seen them, but we've had some really in-depth topics and conversations this evening. But I do want to acknowledge that Malcolm is sharing that players are afraid for their jobs. Sherry Wilson Butler, hi there, beautiful. She's sending love to all of us. There's a question, actually, that Harold has. Chris, he wants to know, have the Patriots ever had a Black quarterback?
Jeremy Brissett was there a few years ago, and he did a good job. I mean, they and I think they have another guy. I think Malik. I want to say there was a guy named Malik Thomas during the preseason. I think that's his name. I'm probably wrong, but Jeremy Brissett was one of Belichick's quarterbacks when Tom Brady got hurt. And he was pretty good when he was there. So they've had their share. I don't think, I'm trying to look in their history. They really haven't. But that's that's the one that comes to mind in more recent history. But so and then too. But then again, have the New York Giants. I mean, they've had guys who are Black quarterbacks who are backups, but they've never really had a franchise. The Giants or the Jets. Wonder why? I wonder why New York's in the biggest city in the world that they've never had a Black franchise quarterback and everything. I often wonder about that for New York and everything. I mean, every other franchise, oddly enough, the Philadelphia Eagles have led the way in Black quarterbacks. They've gone back for a long time between McNabb, Michael Vick. You also have Vince Young here for a minute. And with Jalen Hurts, So you have some, this city, John Walton. You've had some history here. Rodney Peete, when he was here for. Yeah, I mean they the one. I mean, Mr. Lurie seems to be the type of guy. He doesn't care who's playing quarterback, long as you win, and that's the thing. And sometimes to me, that's how you have to be in sports. It doesn't matter the guy's color, the guy's skin. If you can play, you can play. I mean, if you know if you had a little if you had a little sister, a woman playing football, and she can play and whatnot, and she can help your team. You know what? Get them out there.
Yeah, you say
Get
get
them
her
out
out
there.
there.
Get her out there, and she can play. I don't care. I don't care. You can if she can kick a 50-yard field goal, or if she runs a 4.2 40 and you can't catch her, let her go.
You know what, Chris? Heavens to Murgatroyd. Family, you hear Chris over here clowning. You hear him. Let her play. Let her play. I do want to acknowledge some more of our family members that are checking in. Joey Dixon. Hi there, brother Joey. Welcome to the conversation. He's sending one love and jazz to everybody. Family, welcome. You are tuned in to Love and Life with yours truly, Carol Riddick, right here on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media, on air and online at wordradio.com. We are talking with Chris Murray in this hour, our resident sports guru. You know what it is. You know. Listen, I know you have comments and or questions, and we're inviting you to the conversation. So what I'm encouraging you to do is to either leave a comment in our socials, and I promise you I will do my best to acknowledge it, or you can even give us a call. And you can do that by dialing 215-634-8065. You can even call us toll free at 1-866-361-0900. But whatever you do, stay with us, because after this commercial break, this conversation will continue, family. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Wednesday's Powerball jackpot now has an estimated annuity of $374 million. $374 million. So don't forget to play at your local retailer or online. Pennsylvania lottery proceeds benefits older Pennsylvanians every day. Players must be 18 or older. Please play responsibly.
At Bank of America, we asked our employees what they wanted most.
I want to work where everyone is welcome.
To have benefits that take good care of my family.
To move forward in my career. We listened and did all that and more. It's why we're proud to be Just Capital's #1 top company to work for. Bank of America. What would you like the power to do? Just Capital used annual rankings that track performance across the 5 worker-related issues evaluated. Bank of America and a member FDIC, equal credit opportunity lender.
Tune in to the livelihood segment at 6:30 a.m. the fourth Monday of every month during The Source, hosted by Andrea Lawful Sanders, brought to you by PA Lottery, benefiting older Pennsylvanians every day.
People say our country is facing polarization like never before. At Inform Your Community, we're on a mission to change that narrative. We believe that even in disagreement, we can find common ground and work towards solutions with respect. At Inform Your Community, we know the best way to talk about difficult topics is to talk about difficult topics. We're here to educate, bridge gaps, and encourage dialogue by providing engaging, welcoming, and meaningful events that discuss the timely civic issues that matter to you most. At informyourcommunity.org, we foster an environment of civility and respect. Here, we value productive dialogue over hostility and strive for understanding. To learn more about a movement that believes in the power of respectful discourse to heal our communities and address crucial issues that you care about, please visit informyourcommunity.org. We have a motto at Inform Your Community: civility, not hostility.
And now,
in the midst of challenging times, our Black spaces, our voices, and our stories are under attack. Our goal? To reach 2,000 members by the end of the year. We need your support now more than ever. WURD Radio has been your trusted source for Black talk media for 20 years, and we want to continue making history for another 20. This is urgent, and the time to act is now. Help us move forward and up to reach our goal. Visit wordradio.com and join the movement. Let's stand together. Let's make a difference. Go to wordradio.com and become a member today. You're listening to Love and Life with Carol Riddick on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
Well, hello there, family. Welcome back. You're tuned in to Love and Life with yours truly, Carol Riddick, right here on WURD. Chris, I have to apologize to you because I've been so carried away with everything we've talked about tonight that I did not congratulate you. Family, I must share with you, our very own Chris Murray won an award from the Pennsylvania News Media Association and Society of Professional Journalists. You won a first place award for sports column writing for a newspaper from the PNA.
Yeah.
When I tell you, I saw it and I said, that's the first thing I'm going to say to him. So although I want this conversation to continue, I could not go another moment without saying congratulations to you. Congratulations. Just congratulations.
Thank you so much. I'm humbled. I'm humbled by that. I still have a lot of hard work I got to do. I'm never there yet. So I can't rest on my laurels. But I definitely appreciate that. And I appreciate, I'm so humbled by that. It's hard,
we're proud for you.
Thank you. I definitely appreciate that.
One of our family members is checking in. Hey there, Walt. Hey, Walt Reader Jr. That is. He shares, we need Black majority ownership in the NFL to make a real difference.
I would agree with that. You got to own things. I wish that all of our media outlets always tell people to support this station that we have because that's what you have to have. You have to own. You have to have your own. We got to have ownership of businesses, and we really have to do those things, because I think those things can provide jobs for people and stuff like that. Sure. So no, I'm with that.
I want to shift this conversation just for a moment because I'm looking at the time and we don't have much time left in this hour. The Sixers. Talk with us about the Sixers win, and I'm curious to know because I heard this conversation a lot in the last few days about LeBron. Do you think LeBron should retire? You think he should go do something else? Do you think?
Well, on one hand, if he feels up to it, great. Maybe he should. He's accomplished everything. He lived up to the kind of hype that I don't think anybody could ever live up to. I remember those commercials with Bernie, what's his name? The comedian. Why am I forgetting that guy's name? But he was the chosen one. LeBron was the chosen one. Okay. He's like the basketball messiah. How do you live up to that? How do you go through, as a teenager coming out of high school, he's a messiah and he becomes this great player. And so he has nothing else to prove, although last night the Sixers just wiped the floor with them last night.
They did.
They just went every time, like the Lakers tried to come back early in the second half, and the Sixers just kept going.
They weren't having it.
They were not having they was like, look, this is Philly. And like I say, the one team that Philadelphia sports fans hate, more than the Celtics is the Lakers. There's all these Lakers fans. That's the thing. I do my radio show on Saturdays. I'm hearing from all these Laker fans. The Lakers are garbage, man. Lakers ain't. The Sixers, I feel, and don't get it twisted, I have profound respect for LeBron James. Profound. I think on and off the court, he's one of the great players, but look at the Lakers last. I was like, man, come on. These guys are a contender in the West. Really? They're just no. And like I said, Joel Embiid had a triple-double last night, and both him and Tyrese Maxey scored over 30 points. It's just one of those things where, the Sixers are looking good. They're gonna have their ups and downs. They had a big win in Oklahoma City over the weekend. And they play the Celtics on Friday for round 3. I think we're going to see more Sixers and Celtics more than I think, than we would bargain for. But I think the Sixers are on a good trajectory. They're going places. And do I think LeBron James should retire? If he feels good about it, play on. But if I were him, I mean, 20 years you've been playing since you were 18. But then again, it's hard to walk away. It's hard to walk away from the lights and everything. It's hard for guys, boxers, football players, because when that thing is gone, I don't know if the endorphins are satisfied because you're dealing with the high of the crowd and whatnot. An old editor of mine who played football once told me that after he got out playing big time college football, that he had to deal with the whole thing. It's something about the roar of that crowd that just gets, and you understand that. You understand.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
you understand. I'm gonna tell you, the biggest high I ever got in high school, from whether it was sports. I was in my school play, and I was in Pearly Victorious, and the biggest thing that I got out of that was the curtain call. That curtain call at the end of a play, it was just like, man, I was up in doing all this stuff and doing all that, and just it was just something about that. And because I'd run track, play football, done all these things, but I never got a more of a bigger thrill than doing a play and having the crowd applause and all that. That was tremendous. That's intoxicating.
It is. I was just about to say, it's intoxicating. It is. And who willingly walks away from that, right?
No, who wants to walk away? I mean, but all the great ones, you don't want to see LeBron, and I've seen guys, Willie Mays. Sometimes when you get old, you lose those skills, man. I will never watch Muhammad Ali versus Larry Holmes on TV. I will never watch it.
Oh.
My uncle offered to take me, and I said I wasn't gonna go because I didn't want anybody clowning me for crying watching Ali get beat up like that. So there's the point where you got to walk away. Like I say, Father Time is kind of unbeaten, although he had trouble with Bernard Hopkins. But Father Time is eventually going to get in.
Chris, you're a mess. Family, oh my goodness. Well, you know what? I'm curious to know, family, what do you think? In these, we have about 3 minutes left. I'm curious to know, for those of you who are on our socials, what do you think? Do you think that it's time for LeBron to walk away, or should he continue to wait, because we all believe he's waiting to play with his son? Do we think he should wait to actually play with his son? What do you think, family? What do you think? I am curious, so curious to know, because when I tell you, I've heard so many people having this conversation in the past few days about what now. The truth of the matter is that it doesn't matter what any of us thinks, but I'm just curious to know what you think and how you feel. If you think it's time for LeBron to say, all right, y'all, let me go get me a cushy job, as a commentator or something. Or if you think he should continue to play just a little longer, or if you think, he should even, if he should wait to play with his son. I'm just curious to know. But I will say this, I want to go back to the conversation about our quarterbacks and talking about Black quarterbacks. Joe, I did not thank you for calling in. I thank you so much for your point of view. I thank you so much for calling. And you were absolutely right, though. Our Black quarterbacks, they don't get any respect. And I listen, as much as I clown and talk about the Cowboys, I love and do respect Dak. I mean, I do. I really do. I really, really do. Just as much as I do Jalen. Just as, absolutely. I do want to share, our family members are responding to the question that I asked. Hey there, beautiful. Shirley Bryant shares, it would be nice to see him play with his son, but it's his call. Yeah, agreed. Malcolm shares, I would like to see him play with his son if he still can. How about that? And Sherry, my godson, Sherry Riddick shares, LeBron is the truth. Keep going. Yeah, I would like to see him play with his son. I would love to see that.
I would too.
Yeah, I would love that.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, the Griffeys played together. Ken Griffey Jr. and Ken Griffey Sr. at one time. Yeah.
Yes.
So
was that the last?
That was, I don't know, it was back in the 90s. I'm going to say that.
Yes.
It was back in the 90s. And that was cool to watch. That was just cool because we all like to, play with our dads. I kind of look at myself. I followed in my father. My father was a TV news TV news reporter and whatnot. So that part of that comes from him and my mother, who watched the news all the time and all that. But it's just that you love to see your father. You love to see kids play. A lot of things we say about Black fathers. It is good to see when you have that. That when Black fathers get together with their sons and love their sons and all that, and their daughters too. But when they're young, but because we say a lot, we love that bond, and we all like to love our sons and our nephews and things of that nature, because I think because that's only right, and that to me should be the norms in our community. Yeah, in my opinion.
Well, Chris, once again, thank you so much. I always enjoy our sports segment. I so enjoy when you come to visit with us, and I look forward
I
to.
enjoy it too.
Good, because we enjoy it, I should say, because I know our family members do too. But I'm looking forward to your return next week. And once again, congratulations. Just congratulations. You deserve every award. You deserve, all the accolades. So we love you. Just know that we do. And we look forward to our conversations with you. We will see you next week, God willing. And thank you once again.
Thank you for having me, as always.
Always. Listen, I'm calling every week. Chris, are you coming? So we'll see you next week. Family. You know what time it is. It's time for us to bid each other adieu for the night that is. Praise God, from whom all blessings flow. Thank you to all of our guests for tonight. Thank you so much, Nick and Niall. Thank you. Always, with every fiber of my being. Family, remember, we are all in this together. So be good to you, but be good to those around you. You hear me? You better. Have a great rest of your night, family. And be sure to join me Monday through Thursday, 7 to 9 p.m. for another edition of Love and Life. I love you, but God loves you so much more. Have a good night, family.
It's the WURD Hot 6. Hot 60. Here's the hottest 6